we are, less than 2 years later. So, did you get the link? So yeah, we're still a little low rent district. So I don't have any backgrounds and stuff yet, but that's coming. All things in their time. I missed your soiree, but babe, listen, have I seen you since I had surgery, the first one? I don't know. Yeah. So I had gastric sleeve back in December. And yes, and I am now down 113 pounds. Are you in? Come on in. Down at the bottom, I should tell you to enter the studio. You see it? Here, let's see. Let me see if I can here. Let me just see if I can. There you go. Hey.
Do I need to mute something?
No. I'm trying to think though. I'm getting phone feedback. So what I'm gonna do is bring the where are we? Okay. All right. Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Say it.
I can hear you.
Okay, I can't hear you. Okay. Hold on. I don't need Adobe at all. No. Okay. Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you.
Say it again.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, maybe turn the volume on. Oh, wait a minute, maybe it's my computer. Because one of these audios has got to come down.
So do you need the audio from my phone or the audio from my computer?
I need the audio for your computer for this live stream.
So
your phone. Right. Oh, so you're on the computer on both.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Call me on the cell phone.
Yeah, I'm on the cell phone.
Well, maybe put it to your ear. So
got it. Wait 1 second. Let me put on some.
Because I'm trying to pick you up from the phone.
Hello.
Okay, I see you. Now, can you turn the volume down?
On my computer.
Right.
Is that better?
Yes.
So no feedback.
Okay, see how you can barely hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
You can hear me, but you don't hear me coming through like it was echoing a second ago.
Right, no.
Perfect. Okay, and I've got the same thing on my side. Okay, let me test my side right quick. When it picked up. My headphones.
Right, because my computer volume is down.
Okay, very good. We're good. All right. Testing what?
Well, let me know before you start because I'm chewing.
Okay.
But you look good.
Thank you,
I noticed it in pictures. I was like, Jill is losing weight amazingly.
Hey, listen. And long story short, it was a gift from a friend.
Oh, nice.
She was doing a National Plus Size Acceptance Day and came to the station and buy ads. Sales rep hooked us up. And you know me, I hooked her whole shit up. I got her the American Research Library. And just cause I'm like, thanks sis for doing this shit for us. Anyway, fast forward. She met somebody. I took her to a heat party with me. She met somebody in the back office. COVID hits. And by trade, she is a entomologist, and she has a private company, private lab court. And COVID hit. The person called her and said, "Hey, we need somebody in-house for the heat. Are you available?" Yes. She got the heat, their families, then the Dolphins, then the Marlins, and so on and so forth. And then, now she's in a, 4-bedroom penthouse in Houston, overlooking all of fucking Houston. And we went to DC and New York, So anyway, so yeah, she had the surgery and, I helped her through it. And then she said, "Listen, if you get cleared, I will pay for your surgery." Won't he do it?
Come on, look at God.
Baby,
you said, "Let me get clear."
Hello. I was like, bitch, sign up now.
Where do I place this blood?
Thank you very much. Hey, they could have told me I couldn't eat for 3 weeks, no problem. I'll think of something. Shit. I don't fucking think of something.
Change my refrigerator for 3 weeks.
Baby, okay? I would sell it. Bitch.
Yeah.
And that's before I knew the glory of weight loss. God damn it. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, go ahead. I was saying, I don't know if you've seen me lately, but
yes.
I've lost I am 190. I was 240.
I saw you in that black and white, boo-boo. Yes, I was like, come through. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole nother walk. It is. And I was fat from a child. I'm,
right.
Always. And this is probably the only thing that would have ever worked for me because I was a visual eat. And, food, it was everything. It was my friend, lover, family. It was everything in every corner of my life. And now, yes, it's a totally different relationship. And I realized too, I'm sure you will understand this. I should have started. Anyway, we'll do that later. When my podcast starts, we'll do that one. But I realized that I was just playing a position that I got in here and I'm just going to play this position. I'm not going to try and get over here. And do you know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, Phil never saw me on a billboard on I-95. And I mean, I'm sure probably very true as well. You know what I'm saying? And even if it wasn't, though, I adopted it. So I was just kind of playing this space,
right?
Because you don't think you have a choice, and I would never admit that. You know what I'm saying? Previously, but Cedric and I were talking about it. I told him, I was like, I get invited to the press conference and the sponsor dinner. But Cindy gets invited backstage into the after party and then the party at the house. And that's where the shit goes down. It's just that simple. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not science.
Right.
And yeah. And it was okay. That had a certain je ne sais quoi to it. I'm not down there with you all in the middle of the night. But it's like, but that bitch is gonna have, 1 million followers in the morning because she got some rapper licking her ass. And boy, all of this goddamn time I'm going through. Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So it's gonna make for rich content.
Absolutely. I love it.
I love it.
Man. It is connected to so much of our psyche.
Yep.
Where it causes us to shrink, causes us to adapt to the room because we have all of these self-thoughts that we think others are thinking, but they're not. Or they could be, but either way, it's still controlling us.
Right. I put myself in this box, so you don't even have to now.
You don't have, right.
It's done the work for you.
It protects me. They already think it, so I'm gonna just, I totally Totally get it.
Right. I'm not gonna even, sweat it. So yeah, it is and it is very relatable. Okay, now that I realize we have I have been recording all this time. Uh let me say, listen, I'm probably not gonna even cut this. So y'all can, maybe we'll have the behind the scenes. What do you
Yeah.
call the one that you get paid for? What is that one? OnlyFans.
Only
Okay. Listen, I can show you what titties look
Foodgasms.
like. I'll tell y'all what titties look like after you lose 100 pounds. I'm
Yeah.
who the work has just begun. However,
My God.
but welcome, one and all. Thank you for joining me tonight on Hot Talk. A dear friend of the show is back. And, I am honored to have been one of the first persons and one of the first shows that Ben had a chance to sit down and share and felt he could share his story. I'm Black, I'm a minister, and I'm gay. And I just love that so much. Like, well, let's go. Okay. Now that we got the formalities out of the way, let's go. And I think we were both a little surprised at how well our first show was received. It was like, what, 3.5 years ago? Maybe even more. And you were getting on a plane going to some exotic locale right after the show. So, right. So let's pick up from that exotic locale. You have been, you were stable in Miami for many, many years. Share a little bit of your background in Miami and what led to that flight.
Well, first of all, Jill, I have to say how much I love you and thank you for giving me that
Oh, I love you.
platform. You
I
were
love
the first show I ever told my story on.
you. Yeah.
And when I tell you, I
Me
was so
personally.
nervous. I thought that I was going to come in and be grilled, and I was getting all of this prep
Yeah.
done.
Okay.
Child, I came in and we had a good key. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. That's what
We
I'm
were
saying.
aligned on the same page. You made
Yeah.
me feel comfortable. And that was what I needed to
Mhm.
face the world because the world was terrible.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I am, so thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
I'm co-founder of BEJAMIN Community, the largest social entrepreneurship network in the country for Black people. We have funded hundreds of Black leaders around the country. Collectively, they've raised $400 million to support the work of building up our communities, impacting 3 million families across the country. And I became a Miami Fellow through the Miami Foundation. And it's a cohort of leaders who are engaged at all levels. And we were headed to Medellin, Colombia for an exchange. Leaders from Colombia would come to Miami, meet with leadership in the city, and we would go to Medellin to meet with their leadership. And so
That's
right
awesome.
after I came out to the world,
Got
broke
on
the
that plane.
internet, people were arguing
Okay.
back and forth. I'm on there arguing back and forth. I was on a plane out of here, disconnected from it all.
That's great.
And
That's the
it
way to
was,
do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was an amazing journey. My good friend, and you know her, Felicia Hatcher, um,
Yes.
said to me, Ben, you have to leave all comments on the ground, all of
Mm.
them. She said, the
Mm.
good and the bad. She said, if the good ones can make you feel good, the bad
Right.
ones can make you feel bad. Leave them all on the ground. Release
Wow.
what you're doing and walk away from it. Because if
Mm.
you are moved and controlled by the comments, you will be all over the place because people
Yeah.
are nuts.
Yeah. So you were able to do that, able
Yes.
to go to Medina and then come back and really kind of disconnect yourself from all of that.
Yes.
And
And
then
and
so
and
no, go
so
ahead.
one thing about Medellin, it is the eternal springtime. It is a beautiful, beautiful city. I actually wanted to find some of the buried money of Pablo Escobar, but I
Thank
didn't
you very
find
much. I
any
was
of
about to
that.
say it ought to be beautiful.
Babe. And the mountains, it was
Yeah.
just a perfect place to get connected to spirit.
Yeah.
And one of the major things that happened to me while I was there, it was weird to be in a progressive city, but then go to the mountainside and people are living in whatever they could find to make a home:
Mm.
wood, boards, metal sheets. I mean, rocks,
Yeah.
anything. And so we were at this beautiful tech center, library, but right next to it were literally homes made out of anything. And the kids were playing with a deflated ball, and they were like rangy, mungy, no shoes, dirt everywhere, but they were happy, having a good time. And
Wow.
they
Wow.
wanted to play with me with the ball. And so a few of us were there, and they threw the ball over. And so I threw it up in the air so they could come, because I was going to give them some money. And so I threw the ball up in the air. They came to me. I gave them money, but they left the ball. And I'm like, oh, they didn't. I guess they said, here, you keep this ball. We're taking your money. But one of
Before
them
you realize
came,
what you did.
right. One of them came back with a friend so I could give that friend money too. And then he took the ball. And the revelation I got from that, because I was feeling still bad, like, should I have come out? Should I have shared my story? Is this too much? Am I telling people the right thing? And from that moment, he found joy and went and found somebody else so they could find joy too. I found freedom, and I went and helped others get free. And that gave me the peace to say, Ben, you've made the right decision.
Ooh. And all of those steps then were ordered. Do you know what I'm
Order, design,
Ah!
design
Yes.
from that one. I was
Woo!
just, it didn't even hit me that that happened, but he said, forget anything else. He just gave me some money. Let me go get my friends so they can get some
Yeah.
money too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got my
That's
freedom. God gave me revelation. Being gay isn't wrong. Being gay
mm,
won't send you to hell.
right.
Tell this story and free some other people.
Yeah. And then for you to go there and be able to see that in the innocence of a child had to
Won't they
be
bring
just
truth?
like, whoo, yeah, it had to just make you feel like flying. Like,
Yes. Well,
yeah,
one, it made me say, Ben, stop making life so complicated.
right.
These
Look
children
at
are
that.
living in immense poverty,
Seconds. Yeah.
have nearly nothing, but are full of joy, found happiness in playing with a deflated ball. I mean, they got all the elements of being a great human. And here I
Yeah.
am making life so difficult.
Wow. I love that. Okay, so now you are in LA. We
Yes.
were just sharing. Okay, so when you came back, did you go straight to LA? Tell me how you moved through that trajectory.
No, so because I was living a DL life,
Mm-hmm.
I kept a lot of things that I love doing under wraps, or I just stopped doing them because didn't want people to look at me and say, "Okay, he's gay." I initially went to school to pursue media and journalism. What I
Mm-hmm.
realized in media journalism and in the arts, there's a lot of queer people, and so I
Mm-hmm.
ran and stayed away from that. When I came out,
Wow.
coming out
Okay,
caused me
wait,
to.
go back. What? Okay, but now hindsight, what was it about that made you go the other direction? That was your tribe. That is your tribe. But you
Is
did not want to be right. What was that? You know what I'm saying? In
Well,
hindsight, when you think about it, yeah.
it was the automatic assumptions. He's in a play, he must be gay. He's, in the
Mm-hmm.
arts, he must be gay. When I was younger, I, did everything in church. I was on the praise team, the dance team, whatever. And one concert did everything. And one of my male cousins came up to me. He was like, "You need to stop all that." I was like, "Stop all of what?" He just stop all of that. And that seed was planted that being
Mm,
artistic, being in the arts spoke
right.
to my sexuality. So I did whatever I could to try to hide it, and leaving media and the arts was one of them. And so
Ah,
coming
gotcha.
out caused me
Yeah,
to face everything that I had left because I
yeah,
was afraid to be myself,
yeah.
including pursuing the House of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
So wait a minute. So you pledged. When did you pledge? I saw that and
Spring
I'm like,
I crossed Mu Sigma Lambda Spring 21
shut up.
in
Okay, now that
Baldwin Hills.
what? Well, you did it the right way in the right place.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So what was it? Did you want to pledge when you were in college, or just
I
didn't?
did.
Oh,
I
okay.
did.
Yeah.
I wanted to
And
pursue
it was A5A all
a
the
fi
way.
of course, always,
Yeah.
always the first and the
Yeah.
finest. And
That part.
I was in pursuit, and I was at a gentleman's house, and we were talking about the process.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you know, this is this and that is that. He was like, but we don't play none of that gay stuff here. He didn't say stuff. We're on radio and
Mm-hmm.
TV, but he said we
Mm-hmm.
don't play none of that gay stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I guess this is the end of my pursuit, because I didn't want anyone to
Right.
find out I was gay, and I didn't want to get my behind whooped because I was gay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just stopped the pursuit. And when I was in
Mm-hmm.
LA, I met a fellow actor and entertainer and minister who was a member or who was a part of Mu Sigma Lambda chapter in LA. And he was like, listen, brother, this chapter accepts you for who you are. I've not had any problems. And it was that conversation that really sparked me to start the pursuit again. But again, coming out caused me to turn around and pursue everything that I'd let go, because I was afraid people would find out I was gay.
Mm. So
So my
what was
first play here
Mm-hmm.
that led me to LA was Jonathan Spike's I Know What I Am, I'm
I
Not
know
What You
what I
Call
am.
Me. I'm sure I've just
Yeah.
messed that title up. Oh yeah, I think that is the title. And
No, that
from
is it.
there,
Yeah.
and from there, I found out how much I miss acting. And I started pursuing it like full throttle. And I was then leading or starring in a tour, His Double Life. And then that led me to be in touch with some Atlanta executives, who then put me in touch with some LA executives. And then I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm going to LA.
Right. Love you, mean it. Boo-boo. See, that's where that right. It is appropriate in so many situations. Yeah.
Yes.
So now, are you still acting now? Well, you're on a book tour right now, but you are continuing to pursue the arts.
Yes, I'm a man of many talents. There's some Caribbean here somewhere, because I got like 10 jobs. People are always asking what you do. But yes, I'm pursuing acting still.
Yeah.
I have an agent. I've done, my last project was a commercial for Salesforce. Yes, but right now I'm focused on this book and the tour.
Yeah. So what do you hope to impart? Have you started the tour yet?
What's your first Miami. Of course, I had to come back full circle. Miami, yes. At the Center for Black Innovation.
Yes, Felicia. There you go.
Felicia and Derek. It was an amazing time. Yes. Oh, come on, Pharrell. I love that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Felicia and I were in the Martha's Vineyard, and I was so proud to introduce her, as what she's doing with Pharrell. Not that I wouldn't have been proud otherwise, but it added a little flavor.
Yes. We are in the Hamptons after all.
Right.
In Martha's Vineyard at that, darling. Yes.
Yes. I love that. I've titled the tour "Stand for Love," not STAND, but STAN.
Right. Well, that was supposed to be my first question. Yes. So tell me.
Stan is a mix of a stalker and a fan. We stand for Beyonce. We stand for Rihanna. We stand, for the Obamas. We stand for Oprah. And I want people to stand for love. I want love to be the premise of our actions, love to be the premise of our intentions, and love to be the premise of how we treat people and one another. And so I want to have conversations that cut through all of the negative comments and rhetoric that we hear from mainstream. I mean, you have Boosie, who constantly is attacking Lil Nas X for just being his authentic self and living his best life. You have jealous, I think. Jealous, and he has some internal things going on with homosexuality, because no one gets this angry. Who cares? No one cares. He's angry about a lot.
He's angry about a lot of things, and the fact that Lil Nas X can be so free in who he is. I think Boosie, he wants that and he don't have it. And the torment he must be going through in his life. And the other one, the baby, who jumps on stage and says, shouts out to the sucking in the park. Like, where does that come from? Like, if I came on stage, that would never, ever drop into my psyche. It just would not. Like, how is that on your mind, sir? Did it just
Where
finish?
Did that come from? Did it just fit?
Thank you.
Did it just finish? Because clearly it's fresh on your mind. I mean, you were in the middle of a set in front of thousands of people, and that is
You
the
just came on
first thing
stage.
on your mind. That's
Thank
the
you.
first thing on your mind.
And was that your shout out? Did you tell him I'm gonna give you a shout out when I get on stage? That's the first thing I thought.
Listen, because baby, I would give secret shout outs to my lovers when I was either on TV or on stage. When I
Thank
wink
you.
like this, you know I'm talking to you.
You know I'm talking to you,
the
boo.
tea, and you know.
You already know. That's what I'm saying. And so much of that conversation, I was like, yeah, he's showing you exactly who he is right here. Now, we just need to wait for his conversation.
Right.
You know, with him, Boozy, the baby, all the rest of them, you know, come tell their stories before someone else does. Because we see even eventually R. Kelly's stories came out of the little boys in the background, too. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because what people don't realize is that most entertainment spaces are queer. Most entertainment spaces are queer. You know, they 90%. Say blackness, African American.
Yeah, no, there's a certain quality and there's a certain level of, you know, I don't know, estrogen in the air in spaces where creativity is celebrated and rewarded. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you can be, when you get in those spaces where you can be the fullness of who you are, there's nothing you can't do.
Nothing.
Because not only is your talent showing up, but you're grounded and you have people to support who you are. And so that's why, you know, that's why that space is inhabited by people who, you know, have a greatness in spite, you know, of any insecurities that might come with it. Yeah. And
because they talk about, you know, being feminine and all of that, but they never show the videos of them being pampered and them getting their faces being beat down for photo shoots and videos. They don't show those videos, right? They come on acting all hard. Sir, you have on a face full of makeup. Not that makeup makes you gay, but please calm down.
But you know, let's be real about this, okay? Yeah.
And so, you know, African Americans, blackness in America is the culture and the heartbeat of the world. We are mimicked all around the world, but at the core of our blackness is queerness. Queerness is the culture and the heartbeat of blackness. Blackness is the culture and the heartbeat of the world, because our gospel artists, where the greats come from, queer spaces. Our writers, our movies, queer spaces. Our rappers, our singers, queer spaces. We are the culture of the world, but yet we are the most demonized.
And, you know, that kind of self-hatred permeates a lot of our culture.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you put a pin on that, because when we talk about, and you're the perfect person to talk about this as well, when we talk about why can't we get some continuity, why can't we get on the same page in the Black community? And just, you know, no matter what our differences are, our one goal is the preservation of our history, culture, and way of life in America. Like, right? Can we just why can't we just all agree on that for at least a moment, to know that the generation right behind us, you know, is going to benefit as much as the two behind us. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First of all, I love Generation Z. They are showing up in the world as authentic as they can.
X not so much.
Yeah, X is gone. Millennials, it's a split, but Z is showing up exactly how they want to show up. And we have an opportunity, if we show them, actually, if they show us, and if we follow, we have the opportunity to make spaces for everyone. And people are so, you know, stuck in their ways, stuck in their understanding, that they stop being open to, none of this is new. Being gay isn't new. Being queer isn't new. It's been around since the beginning of time. And so everyone needs to really do some self-checking, because the more you judge others and the more you hate on others, speak to how much you don't love yourself. Speak to how much you are not proud of who you are. Speaks to how much of how you don't like showing up just like who you are. And so the more love you have for others speaks to how much love you have for yourself. And that's all Christ talked about, right? Love God, love people, boom, we're good. Religion is the one who came up with all these rules. And what is crazy, when Christ was on earth, and even as the Bible says, when Christ comes back, when Christ was on earth, his beef was with religion. When Christ comes back, his first beef is with religion. Does anybody read Revelations? He's coming back to judge the church. He's not coming back to judge the world. And here the church is sitting here judging the world. No, there needs to be some inner perspective on how you treat and deal with God's people. Because how you treat the least of these is how you treat God. And so that is why I'm on the Stand for Love tour, promoting love, to cut through all this rhetoric. And I watched recently, I don't know if you watched the Dave Chappelle special on Netflix.
Yes. Yes, I did. Okay, wait, that's a perfect place to pause, because we got to say, you all on online, stay right there, but we got to take a break on the radio. We'll be right back on the other side. I am Jill Tracey, and this is Hot Talk on Hot 105. Oh, that's perfect place to, hello. Okay, let me say this is part one. Save as, I couldn't have, that you couldn't have done a better tease if I had asked you to. Save as been. Oh, boom. Part one. We doing the whole show, Ben. I had somebody else who's supposed to do the second half hour, but that's okay. I'm gonna call and be like, "Oh, I am so sorry." Love you, mean it. Part one. Where do I?
And this is exactly why I miss South Florida.
Okay, listen. We have to talk. There's so much work to be done here right now. Oh, while I'm saving this. So, are you familiar with Catalyst Miami?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was accepted to this class.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, do tell. I was interested in it. I am interested in it, right? Because the political season left me just so dazed and confused. And I was like, this is some bullshit. I'm not giving these motherfuckers a mic no more. And I really want to find a better way to skin this cat. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not getting nowhere. All of that last electoral season, that shit was a way. I could have been talking about, infertile schnauzers and probably helped the community more than I did by having all the lying-ass politicians come up here. And so I really want to feel the landscape of Miami. Because to your point, I'm the exact same way. I'm here. I want to buy my place. My best friend, I tell him, listen, I could live in a closet in New York, but I want to buy me a little closet in New York so that I can have that back and forth. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you have to get out of this bitch sometimes too.
Absolutely.
Because it will lull you to sleep real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me not get sidetracked. I'll be calling you back. We have to do it over. But yeah, babe, you got to have one foot in each place. But why should we not be able to enjoy just the beauty of Miami?
Yes.
I mean, it's
because it is the closest thing to the Caribbean that you can get in the United States.
Hot tub bin. Okay. Yeah, I'm not with that. Because every time I go up, I think about it, but I was like, I can't live here full time. I just can't. I can't live in New York full time. That's some bullshit. It's goddamn cold. Oh, it's too many things. But I stayed at this cute little hotel in Soho. Okay, new bed. Okay. 370. Part 2. I might be able to edit all of this out of because I'm unrecord on. Oh, okay, good. I probably edit all that out. All right. Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's get these mic levels right. I have a chance to change them. All right, my dear, and we are back. Welcome back to Hot Talk. No, you can't call in, but if you have questions and comments, you can go on and join us on YouTube. We're also live on live to recording on Facebook and Twitter. And so, yeah, I don't want you to go on there and say that, well, why aren't y'all answering? Because we ain't there. We sleep by the time you listening to this. But welcome back to Hot Talk. And Ben Carlton. What happened? Well, we won't talk about those other, but Ben Carlton is here with me. He is a dear friend. He is a champion of South Florida. And as well, he's an author of his new book, I'm Black, I'm a Minister, and I'm Gay. And I was very privileged to have one of the very first conversations with him. And he decided to let the world know where he was walking and how he's walking through this. And so now he's back on his book tour. First stop in Miami last night, and it was good. You enjoyed.
Yes,
You got lots
enjoyed
of
the
love.
conversation. Yes,
Yeah.
lots of love. The people came out, and you keep saying one of the first. You were the first.
Okay.
Jill
Thank you.
Tracey
I
was
am the
first to get my story.
Yeah.
And you
Thank you.
launched me into the world with such love and grace and acceptance, and I will forever be grateful for that, because I was so scared.
Thank
I
you.
was so scared.
And I didn't know that, but it was, and I really, really, I was so honored that you felt comfortable enough with me to share your story. That when that happens, somebody knows your heart, like for real. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters, in all of this. Because go ahead.
We talked about in prep, right before this interview, how we show up into rooms and automatically think what everybody else is thinking. Whatever our insecurities are, we think everybody's thinking that. So how I stepped into the world was like, okay, they're going to judge me. She's going to ask me all these tough questions. She's going to be mean to me. She's going to say, you deserve to be in hell. All of these things I'm thinking that, someone in the media would say. And when I came in and baby, you threw them arms open, I almost wept.
Okay. Because it was like coming home,
Yeah.
I mean, all my godfathers taught me well.
Yes.
Bought me my first Louis, took me to my first play. You know what I'm saying? Taught me what not to accept from a boy. And my mother was just such a renegade her entire life. She still is, dementia and all, child. And and I'm so grateful that she had such an open view of the world, that she allowed me to see that and grow up and create that in my own space. So it is the richness of it is that the relationships we share is the richness of our lives, period. Absolutely. And it will be the measure of our lives. And before we went to the break, we were talking about Dave Chappelle, because his special right now is like the topic of conversation for everybody. So tell me, what were your thoughts? Those of you who haven't seen it clearly are not part of our family, but join and go watch it, and then come back and watch this. Okay.
Now, as Dave said in the special, he is one of the GOATs of comedy.
Amen.
He is hilarious. The Dave Chappelle show was so funny. Who he is as an individual is funny. But what I don't think he realizes is the harm of people who live at the other end, excuse me, of his comedy. He talked about rape. He compared Black people to the gay movement. He disparaged transgender people. And though he did make amends and have apologies at the end, it still doesn't negate the harm that was caused and that can be caused by his jokes that perpetuate some of the ills that people feel about people in the queer and the transgender community.
Right.
And so it's just akin to, and everybody's coming to defense and said, well, he apologized. And how many times um, has white racist people apologize after saying something silly or saying
And how
something
many times
disrespectful?
and how many times has an abusive husband apologized after,
I mean, bought
beating you to the
roses
ground?
and flowers and taking you
Took
around the
you on a
world.
trip. Okay.
And then, and as he mentioned, this is not his first rodeo. He has been talking against the transgender community via comedy for years.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that when you
Easy
have 10
prey.
billion other things
You can talk
to
about.
talk about. You
Yeah.
can make a dog crossing the street hilarious and have me on the floor because God gave you that talent. But you
Hmm.
choose your God given talent. As he says, he doesn't like this word and doesn't like this narrative, but it's the truth. Punch down on the weaker and people who are already being beat up by the world. Why choose your God given talent to continue to beat up on people who
Oh,
are already beat up? It makes
don't
no
get me
sense.
in here. Listen, don't have me in here going to church on this Sunday because it's true. I don't know what I was doing. That came across some old video. Oh no, it's on Instagram. What's his name? Put it up today. Abebe Lewis. That it was on Instagram, and we were talking about my trajectory, and I told him how I got started doing gossip and digging in. Oh please, you know. Um, and it wasn't until I think I caught a Heat player on on a trip to. I would get on a flight to Hawaii, and he was on with uh, somebody that wasn't his wife.
Clearly, clearly.
Hey, and I could not wait to get off that plane in Hawaii and run. It was like it would have been 4 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't wait to get that on. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they're gonna be talking about it all day, and just that energy, right? And how it is like that's like cocaine. I could relate to everybody who was doing not crack but coke because it was still cute. Back in
No,
the
it
day,
still is today.
you know what I'm saying? But that was that, and I realized how that started to make me feel like I am, because the worse I got, the more attention and money I was making.
Mhm, mhm.
And it just that's not, my mama didn't raise me like that. That happened to me, and then the switch was so hard to make. I mean, I ended up crying in Iyanla's skirt on national TV.
Yes,
You
yes.
know what I'm saying? But I had to break that because that's not what I want to. That's not what I want to leave in the world.
Mhm.
And for Dave Chappelle, you're right. He is one of the goats. And what is it? Like if somebody started just making their whole act about Dave Chappelle's white wife or Asian wife or whatever, and his mixed children, and there would be an uproar. So to
Yes.
your point, what is that someone else, and that's where we are. That'll be a nice segue into where we are in general now, Democrat, Republican, everything. Why someone else has to be diminished, like eviscerated, in order for you to feel some sort of success. It goes back to the time, why can't we live together? I mean, like in the space that you're in now, right? You are really looking at the world with a clear eye view
Yeah.
right now from
Child,
from a
this third
higher
eye,
perch.
this African spiritual eye is open.
Okay. And so and in the ministry. So what is all of this saying to you? And then what do you hope to be able to share as from the pulpit, as a friend, and as a fellow gay man? What are
Yeah.
you hoping to bring to the table?
I mean, taking it back to root causes, right? Because there's
Mm-hmm.
always a cause for something that people ignore. This is
Mm-hmm.
basic human behavior.
Yeah.
There's nothing new about it. Discrimination has been around since humans figured out we're different. Um, and
Say
so
it.
what's innate is the tribalism about it, right? You
Mm.
find your tribe, whether it's your race, your gender, your economic status, you find your tribe, you stick with
Right.
that tribe, and anything that is not in that tribe is different and dangerous. It's an innate survival technique of human beings. So that's why Black people who aren't gay can't see the oppression of a Dave Chappelle special. That's why white people who live in the middle of America don't understand why Black Lives Matter. That is why, we don't understand why Asian lives matter. That is why there can be discrimination against me as a queer person from my Black community, although Black people are one of the most discriminated in the entire world. Blackness is.
Right.
I experience more discrimination. I experienced homophobia from my Black community first before I experienced racism from a white community. I lived in an all Black community up until the age of 6, 7. I didn't hear the word nigger until I was age 7. But I heard queer, I heard fag, I heard homo, I heard sissy, I heard sweet, I heard sugar in his tank. And I wasn't even 5 or 6. I mean, my God. And so it's basic human behavior.
And as a
what
child,
I am seeing as a child, it was awful from adults, right?
Right.
We
That's what
see
I'm saying.
that today,
Right?
how they attack Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union for how they are raising their
child. Okay.
Their child.
Their
but they
child.
literally get online and attack that child. I say, people are mental. But anyway, what I'm seeing now is an opportunity to shift that through millennials and Generation Z. Because the more that we educate each other about other, right? You can't have any empathy for me. You can't write laws for me as a politician. You can't set standards for me in corporate America if you don't know anything about my story. So this is the opportunity for us to tell each other's story and to build love and relationships. And that is why the motto of the tour is elevating the Black queer experience. Because everything I learned about the queer experience or the gay experience was from church and bigoted Black people and relatives who said it was all about perversion and sex, when being gay is much more about sex. I mean, being, like I said before, queerness is the core and culture of Blackness, and Blackness is the core and culture of the world. Clearly much more than about sex. And so the more that we learn about other, the more that you take time to learn about what you are afraid of, the more you have the capacity to be accepting and then build love for it. It happened to me. I came out in 2015, but I still had a strong phobia and weirdness about transgender community and cross-dressing community and drag queens. It was just something about it I didn't like. And I said, you know what? There's no way you could be out here being a Black gay man and around here being discriminatory against transgender people. So I volunteered at TransCon, which is a conference in South Florida funded by Aqua Foundation for Women. And they provide opportunities for people in the trans community to connect, have seminars, get employment, because it's very hard for trans folks, especially who, cannot get jobs. I made some amazing friends. I sat in a room full of parents who had transitioned their kids, and they were still mourning the loss of their original child as they gave birth, but wanted so for that child to be free. And so they transitioned their child. We cried for an hour straight of how much love they had for them. I mean, I built so much empathy for their story and their journey. And that's how I got over my ignorance and my bias. I had to face it. And until people face whatever their ignorance and bias is, we'll never get to where we need to go.
You know what? I'm so happy that you said that. I have a dear friend, same way. I've always known her to be just vivacious and dynamic. She's in the arts. She's just multi-talented, right? But so many times I would invite her out and she would just politely, be like, no, babe, I'm working or whatever. Just unless she knew it was a safe space. And so I invited her to the theater, Hamilton, and she didn't want to go. And I was like, okay, what is the problem? Because we in the 8th row for Hamilton, and you don't want to go.
Baby, you rejected. Is it me? I mean,
right? I'm like, tell me something that I'm missing. And then afterwards, we went and had tea, and she told me, about she's very apprehensive of going into spaces that she is not sure are safe for her life. you know?
Yes.
And I never, oh, I cried like a child because but I felt it because I had my own, you know, we talked earlier about being fat all my life. You know, at some point you just like, okay, I'm going over here. I'm not going over there. I don't want to hear, you know, you change your whole being. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt it completely. And, you know, to the trauma of wanting to be who you really are and who you
Mm-hmm.
want the world to see you as, and thinking it might get you killed. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that,
Yes.
and I don't think, to your all the way back to your point, I don't think Dave Chappelle understands that or feels that,
Yes.
or, you know, yeah. And
And
in general, in the Black community, when we admonish each other for whatever it is that, you know, as a race, look what it's doing to us.
yeah, he told a story about his transgender friend who ended up
Yeah.
committing suicide. But even in that, he blamed the trans community um, for that. And it's like, well, just as the hatred that came against your friend is the same energy you are bringing towards the trans community. You don't get that?
Yeah.
That the other end of your jokes is someone dying. The other end of your jokes is
Right.
further discrimination. The other end of your jokes, you say, I hate that all these years this message has followed me, that I'm punching down, that I'm discriminatory. It's following you for a reason. It's not following
Because
you
you
because
won't let
people
it
are
go.
making it up.
Right. Right.
It's following you because at the other end of people's lived experiences, as he says, he lives in this small town in Ohio, a small white town in Ohio, you are disconnected from the rest of the world and what is going on in people's lives. And
Yeah.
every day, trans people are afraid to step out. And there are some trans people that, you know, say it's nothing wrong with what he's saying, because I'm talking to them next week. And it's like, but you have that type of strength and courage. Not
Yeah.
everybody has that strength and courage. You can talk about me now, I don't care.
Right.
Everybody's not like that.
Yeah.
Everybody, the majority of suicides that happen in the queer community are because of how we're talked about and treated. The majority of youth who kill themselves, it's because of how they are treated. The majority of youth who are homeless, 40% of homeless youth are homeless because their parents threw them out because they're queer. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the other side of those jokes. And so it is
Mm.
key, you know, that he really take a look at the impacts. Like, go to
Yeah.
some of these centers, talk to some of these people, and realize, he said this is the end, we'll see. But obviously there's something deep within him that is causing him to continue to talk about. I mean, he opened with a, you know, joked about being molested. Not sure how true that story is. That could very
Right.
well be a part of, you know, his angst.
I guarantee you that it is. Do
And
you know what I'm saying? And I thought about that. And so I was like, what we were talking about earlier. It's like, oh, how'd
yeah,
you come on stage? You know what I'm saying? That's that.
yeah.
And
And
and is that some way? Are you trying to assuage your guilt for what you're about to do? Because this is where it came from. You know, it depends
nothing
on one
about
thing.
comedy. I want to come back to safe spaces, but I have to say nothing
Mm-hmm.
about comedy is by happenstance.
Mm-hmm.
Comedians are some of the most deeply hurt people in the entire world.
Always.
That's why we can make you laugh like we can. And when
Mm-hmm.
we cry, and the world cries with us, because we have a deep, deep connection to pain just as much as we have a deep, deep connection to laughter. And so comedy is not just comedy. No one gets up and just tells jokes. It's something deep within. It's coming from a deep place. And people who live on the surface, oh, it's just comedy. Yeah, there was a whole entire team behind that comedy special. Netflix reviewed that before it went out. The net executives, I mean, it's not by happenstance, not by chance.
Mm-hmm.
But
Who was Laugh at My Pain? Whose show was that?
Kevin
Was
Hart.
it Chris Rock? Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, Laugh at My
There
Pain.
you go.
But there was one joke where he said something about the police killing people, and the entire audience cracked up laughing. I didn't find that funny.
Right. But Laugh at My Pain. You know what I'm saying? If I can't, he's a whole nother situation. But when as you were talking, that's what I thought about, that when you can't deal with it, you got to turn it into something else. Like what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, I can't deal with the fact you don't accept me and how brilliant I am at 350 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I'm a shapeshift into something else to satisfy somebody who has admittedly just said they don't want me. Like I'm not even listening to what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but because it's family, it's a whole nother. That's a whole nother show. Yeah, Benjamin Carlton, go ahead. Now I'm gonna let you have the last word because we will sit here and talk all night.
Yes,
they'll be trying to go to work.
He keeps saying, make space for the baby, make space for Kevin Hart because the Oscars got stripped from him or whatever award show.
Right.
So basically, you're telling us stop holding people accountable for their hatred and their slander. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Just because the baby got away with shooting somebody and nothing happened to him doesn't make that right. Something should have happened to him.
Yeah.
I didn't like the baby ever since he just goes and beats up random fans and gets away with it.
Right? I never knew who he was. I'm so tired of all these brothers calling themselves little and babies. This is a problem for me.
Stop it. T-Pain said enough is enough. But when I came out, there were people who were saying, oh, we knew. Oh, we were just waiting for you. If you knew and if you were waiting for me, how come you never said anything? Mm-hmm. Or forget saying anything. How come you went in on gay jokes? How come you went in on the fag and the sissy jokes? If you knew that I was gay, how dare you make me uncomfortable with these gay jokes?
And tell me you my friend.
And tell me you my friend. We have to make spaces safe for people to be themselves, whether you accept it or not. And that includes not disparaging them in that space. Right. If you are a feminist, as Dave Chappelle says he is, why are you continuing to degrade women and calling them bees and hoes and whores? There's so much he could do with the brilliant comedy that he is without disparaging. People would watch, people would still laugh. And so my last word is make spaces safe for all people, brilliant people, tall people, skinny people, fat people, Black people, white people, Asians. Make space for everyone.
I love that. And it can be done. Oprah did it.
It can be done. It can be done.
So many, but she's the first person that kind of came to mind because she was really the first woman on the first talk show, definitely the first woman and the only Black woman that really did open that space up, that everybody felt like they were seen and heard.
Everyone had a platform on her stage. Yeah. Everybody.
Well, as you will always have on mine.
Yes, and I love you,
Benjamin. I love you so much, Ben. Benjamin Carlton. The book is I'm Black, I'm a Minister, and I'm Gay. It is available everywhere that great books are found.
BlackLoveWins.com. BlackLoveWins.com.
Right there down on the screen, BlackLoveWins.com. You can get the book. You can coalesce and, send some love his way. And I hope to see you soon, my dear. I love you.
Yes, love you too.
And that's it. Love you, mean it. I will talk to you in the morning on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. I am Jill Tracey, and this is Hot Talk on Hot 105. Awesome.
That's
a good one. Yeah, that is a good one, boo. So I will. I'm gonna chop it up because I got to send. Oh wait, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. I can't really hear you. I got to chop it up and send it to them. So it can go up for tomorrow, the one for the radio, and then this will go up. I'm going to schedule it to go up at 11.
Okay.
Tomorrow night. No, tomorrow night. So it comes on the same time the show comes on.
Okay.
Or should I send it up early? I don't know. That'd be interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'll put it up when the show goes up, and then tomorrow morning when I do the news, I'll do a blurb. And then tell people they can go watch the broadcast.
Okay, thank you. And Black Love Wins is the website, and I did that because the Love Wins campaign was great. We got marriage equality passed, but they always leave out Black people.
Yeah, always.
I mean, Dave Chappelle spoke some truth in the special, but truth mixed with disparage, it's not right. Good.
you know, that's like, you know, taking me to, you know, Mr. Chow and then, you know, throwing a McDonald's fish fillet on my damn plate. No. I mean, it is that egregious.
Yes.
So, you
We'll do
know,
that.
I don't know. But listen, please keep in touch. Let me know. Well, I'm on your mailing list, so you know.
Yes.
Let me know what's happening. Because again, I'm really now switching because I'm doing mornings and I can't, this show won't be live anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn it into just like a magazine show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so when a topic warrants, it'll just be, you know, one-on-one with and then the others I'll have like 4 segments, so it'll be like, you know, current news and opinion and maybe some lifestyle and then a one-on-one, and
Okay.
it'll just be, you know what I'm saying, yeah, to be able to produce them right, because trying to make it topical, and like I said, if I had to talk to too many more of these local motherfuckers, okay. Just,
Child,
you know
make
how
sure
you
you edit that out of this live video.
okay. But
It's
it's,
at
you know,
the end.
I'm recording it. So
Mm-hmm.
when you see it, it'll say it, when they, you know, see it. I hope shit. Well, listen, if it has been online, you know we love you. Wait a minute. No, I can tell you right now if it was it would be hilarious. That would be fucking hilarious. No,
I would not.
it's not. All right, darling. I love you. Have
Love you
fun.
too. All right.
Enjoy. All right, talk to you
Talk to
soon.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Awesome. Okay. All right, let's do this right and right now. Okay. End the broadcast. Yes, end the broadcast.